concrete land.
In April 2008, a 15-year-old boy was shot dead by Egyptian police during riots in the Nile Delta city of Mahalla al-Kubra.
Families are dying from starvation, whilst the government's more worried about immigration, only holding 2% of the world's population. You need to think of what's important, life or the wealth of a nation.
Protesters were rioting due to the skyrocketing prices of staple foods. Between the start of 2006 and 2008, the average world price for rice rose by 217%, but this wasn't a problem specific to Egypt. Food prices were soaring all over the world, and demonstrations were taking place everywhere, from Yemen to Bolivia. So what was the reason why millions more people were suddenly having to go without food? Is it simply the case that there's just not enough to go around? Some people believe that there are just too many of us. The world population has grown from 1.6 billion in 1900 to 6.6 billion today. However, statistics show that although the population is growing, food production is actually increasing at an even faster rate. That means that each year there is more and more food per person. Essentially, there is plenty to go around. There are key three factors that are said to be contributing to the current food crisis. 1. Climate change. Climate change has been used to explain the increase in food prices. An extended drought in Australia, unseasonal rains in India, and a heat wave in California are among the incidents which have caused disruptions in crop production. 2. Petroleum and natural gas are major components in fertilizers used in crop production. The increase in oil prices has heightened the cost of fertilizers, thereby increasing the general cost of food. And 3. The world's excessive dependence on fossil fuels has triggered the search for a new type of fuel, namely biofuels. Biofuels are being produced from crops, which are then used to produce ethanol. But producing this stuff requires a massive diversion of food crops. As much as 100 million tons of grain is being redirected per year. Ironically, an endeavour that sought to ease the fuel crisis was one of the main contributors to the global food crisis. So is it really the case that these factors combined created the perfect storm, leading to starvation of millions, or is there more to it than that? The fact of the matter is, even before the food crisis of 2008, millions of people were going hungry every day. In reality, we've had a food crisis on our hands for decades. A report released over a decade ago by the Institute for Food and Development Policy estimated that 786 million people had inadequate access to food. The real issue is not that there is not enough food, that there are too many of us, or that nature is the problem. The real issue is that the decisions made by our governments that keep millions hungry. Did you know that under international trading laws, Japan is compelled to import 767,000 tons of rice every year from the United States? Rice that is then stockpiled, used as animal feed, or often left to rot. Did you know that as a condition of receiving loans from big banks like the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank, developing countries are required to grow luxury goods like coffee and flowers instead of essential staple foods? Contrast this with the fact that the US government subsidizes its own agriculture almost $1 billion a day. The true source of world hunger is not scarcity, but policy. Not inevitability, but politics. In order to prevent fatal food riots and end this injustice, the way we think about hunger must change.